Iraq hostage crisis. 3 kidnapped Turks threatened with beheading. They're paraded in front of a camera as George Bush arrives in Turkey for a NATO summit. Also on the programme, shocking death. An 8-year-old boy is found dumped in a Glasgow tower block.
Lovely wee kid he was, no? It's a very, very sad loss.
And follow the flame. Thousands see the Olympic torch return to Britain. Good evening. They've done it before to Americans and a Korean. Tonight, Al-Qaeda threatened to behead 3 more foreigners in Iraq. This time, their intended victims are Muslims from Turkey. Masked men said they would murder the hostages in 72 hours unless Turks stop working with US forces in Iraq. Well, the timing couldn't have been more calculated. Tonight, George Bush arrived in Turkey for talks about NATO's involvement in Iraq. Emma Murphy reports.
On their knees at gunpoint, these are the latest victims in the war between George Bush and Arab militant Abu Musab al-Zarqawi. The 3 Turkish nationals are believed to be held by his Al-Qaeda-linked terror group. Tonight, the Arab station Al Jazeera has broadcast a statement threatening to execute each man should Turkey not withdraw its troops from Iraq within 72 hours. It is no hollow threat. The body of their last victim, Kim Sunil, was flown back to South Korea today, chilling evidence that Zarqawi's terror network stands by its word. The abductions are a cynical and calculated move. The men seized as George Bush arrived in their country for a crucial NATO summit on Iraq, and 24 hours after he ordered airstrikes on Fallujah, the sole aim to kill Zarqawi. Visiting Ireland this morning, his feelings for the man with a $10 million bounty on his head were clear.
He is a problem because he's willing to kill people, innocent people, in order to shake our will and shake our confidence. In other words, he's willing to use death to stop the advance of freedom.
Jordanian-born Zarqawi is thought to be responsible for the insurgent attacks in Iraq, as well as the execution of Americans Nick Berg and Paul Johnson. The fact he can now decide if 3 Turkish citizens live or die will do little to improve George Bush's image in Turkey. Already there have been demonstrations and controlled explosions in Ankara. Turkish opposition to his war on terror is unlikely to ease now that 3 of their citizens are pawns in the fight between George Bush and his latest enemy. Emma Murphy, ITV News.
He was last seen playing football with his friends. Tonight, 8-year-old Mark Cummings' friends and his family are numbed by his death. The little boy was found in the basement of the block of flats where he lived by the end of a rubbish chute. Exactly how he died is still unclear, but police have charged a 28-year-old man. Our Scotland correspondent Martin Geisler reports.
Shortly after 11 o'clock last night, police officers broke the awful news to Mark Cummings' mother. Her 8-year-old son, described as a lively, happy, friendly boy, had been found dead. She had reported him missing 3 hours earlier. He was last seen playing football with friends. It's understood Mark's body was found in the basement of the tower block, an area just like this. It's where the communal rubbish chutes from each of the 20 floors empty into large bins. The police operation involved a helicopter unit, a dog team and dozens of officers. As forensic specialists swept the 20-storey building, their uniformed colleagues spoke to residents. A 28-year-old man went to a nearby police station for questioning early this morning. When the results of a post-mortem were returned a few hours later, he was arrested and charged. People on the Royston estate, just half a mile from Glasgow's city centre, can't believe this has happened.
Lovely wee kid he was, no? It's a very, very sad loss.
It's terrible, tragic. I just think it's disgraceful that a child, something like that can happen to a child.
This evening, as police continue to search the scene for evidence, people here are experiencing an upsetting mix of emotions. Grief and anger, certainly, but perhaps most acutely, a sense of bewilderment as to how and why this could possibly have happened. Martin Geisler, ITV News, Glasgow.
3 teenagers have been arrested over the murder of a schoolboy attacked for his mobile phone. 15-year-old Kieran Rodney Davis was out shopping for his mum in West London when he was stabbed in the chest. Scotland Yard say 2 16-year-olds and a 17-year-old from southwest London are in custody. A 17-year-old is critically ill following a car crash which killed 3 other teenagers. The vehicle they were in hit a tree and a wall near Keighley in West Yorkshire. 2 others are in a stable condition in hospital. Sport and Holland have booked their place in the semi-final of Euro 2004 after beating Sweden on penalties. The Dutch, who've lost all 4 of their previous shootouts, triumphed 5-4 on spot kicks after the match had finished goalless after extra time. Holland will now face Portugal in the semi-finals. Alex Thompson watched the action.
After so many shock results at Euro 2004, Holland's star-studded team were hoping to buck the trend against Sweden. Following an almost chanceless 45 minutes, the Dutch started the second half strongly. Manchester United striker Ruud van Nistelrooy a constant threat. At the other end, Arsenal's Freddie Ljungberg nearly scored. But no goals after 90 minutes sent the match into extra time. Holland's Chelsea-bound winger Arjen Robben hit the post. Sweden's prayers weren't completely answered though. They were also denied by the frame of the goal, not once, but twice. So to penalties, where Fulham's Edwin van der Sar produced a stunning save against Sweden's captain Olof Mellberg.
Really good save.
And Robben took the chance to send Holland into a semi-final showdown against the tournament host Portugal. Alex Thomas, ITV News.
Rain stopped play at Wimbledon today, so for only the 3rd time in the championship's history, there will be matches on the middle Sunday of the tournament. That's tomorrow. The covers remained on the turf throughout the day. The washout means more than 20,000 fans can get their hands on tickets for tomorrow's game, including Tim Henman's match against the Moroccan Hicham Arazi. Britain's number 1 didn't have a completely wasted day, though. He swapped a tennis racket for a torch and joined dozens of other stars and celebrities in carrying the Olympic flame through the streets of London. It's the first time it's been in the country since the Games were held here in 1948. Romilly Weeks followed its journey.
The last time the Olympic torch was on these shores, the parents of these children would have been children themselves. They'd prepared quite a welcome, but as it emerged off the plane, the mighty Olympic flame looked more like a small paraffin lamp. Not for long, 4-minute-mile record breaker Sir Roger Bannister lit the first torch. Then to Tim Henman. Rain had stopped play at Wimbledon and it nearly ended the flame's journey.
And the flame's gone out. Oh, it's come back on again.
But it was still alight when it arrived in Brixton. Frank Bruno and Davina McCall, accompanied by salsa dancers and carnival colour. By the time Sharon Davis handed over to actor Ian McKellen on Tower Bridge, the flame had been seen by tens of thousands along the route.
It was such a thrill and everybody was lovely and it's tiring on your old right arm.
On to Britain's Olympic rowers, the torch continued its odyssey by boat, on 4 wheels and then 4 legs.
After 8 hours and 140 torchbearers, the final stage of the Flames journey is here in the Mall. London has turned out in its thousands to cheer the Olympic spirit despite the rain. Now it's over to Greece. Romilly Weeks, ITV News in the Mall.
And that's the news. Next on the ITV News channel, more on those 3 Turkish hostages held in Iraq and threatened with beheading. But from me and all the Weekend News team, have a great weekend. Goodbye.
ITV National Weather, sponsored by Powergen.
Hello there. Well, there were some fairly hefty downpours around today, as the Met Office radar sequence shows. Where the bright echoes are, that's where the rain was at its heaviest. and in fact in some areas it led to some fairly difficult driving conditions. This shouldn't be the case for tomorrow though. Back to tonight though, we are going to see the worst of that rain clearing off to the east. We're going to be left with a mainly dry but fairly cloudy night. There will still be 1 or 2 showers bothering northwestern parts of the United Kingdom, and as far as tomorrow goes, it's an improving picture, I'm glad to say. That rain's headed off to the east and we're going to be left with a mixture of sunshine and showers. The showers initially out to the west, and these are going to be moving inland in an easterly direction during the course of the day. 1 or 2 could be quite heavy, even accompanied by a rumble of thunder in the north of the country. Temperatures, though, are responding to the sunshine, particularly down into the southeast. Your high there, 22 degrees Celsius. Very good.
Positive energy from Powergen.
Once upon another time, not so far, far away, a Queen, Prince Charming and Puss in Boots travelled all the way to the GMTV studios. Nobody could believe it when they saw Rupert Everett, Antonio Banderas and Julie Andrews, but it was all very, very true. A Shrek extravaganza next week on GMTV.
Central weather with BMIBaby.com.
Hi there, right old soggy start to the weekend, wasn't it? This is how we all looked around lunchtime today, but at least the rain passed through, a better end to the day, and we're keeping drier, clearer skies through tonight, through tomorrow morning. You can see by tomorrow morning, showers developing over Ireland and northern Britain. We will see 1 or 2 of those pushed down to join us. So showers developing through tomorrow, but certainly for the next few hours, dry skies and mild temperatures, no lower than 12 or 13 Celsius there through tonight. And that mild air with the wet ground after today's rain, it will allow some mist and murk to form through the night. So take it easy on the roads, but that'll lift tomorrow morning. And tomorrow morning, certainly the better end of the day. Some fantastic sunshine for all of us. Through the morning, though, we will start to see the odd thicker lump of cloud developing, perhaps even over the north of the region, turning into a shower before the end of the morning. But it'll be the afternoon before most of us start to see those developing, the odd humdinger as well. But sunny spells in between times. And that picture is really the picture for the next few days. Just don't put that brolly away. Bye-bye.
The Central 10-day weather line. Call 09069 19 14 19.